imagine if you had intel that was helping direct you so that your path was very, very clear. You would do so much more. Everything around you would flourish because you were crystal clear.
If you're not conscious about your investment strategy, you won't end up where you want to be, not financially or as a human. On this show, we interview highly successful investors and share how they overcame limitations to become unstoppable forces of success. If you're ready to learn what it is to be a conscious investor so you can end up where you want, keep listening.
Welcome back, Conscious Investor. So glad that you are here. If you are a new listener to the Conscious Investor, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. Take a moment, hit the subscribe button, and that way you will always be in the loop. And if you're a longtime listener, Conscious Investor, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for, sharing the podcast. Thank you so much for the reviews that you have left. And I especially appreciate just the opportunities that I've had to be able to pop on phone calls with so many of you. Absolutely makes my day and fills my heart. It's that time of year. And so when we dive into the next 5 episodes, we are going to be tackling goals. I know, don't cringe. I used to cringe when I heard goals and I would think of SMART goals. And I'm like, no, we don't want to do it. And I promise you that these goals are going to be very, very different from the goals that you have to do for your company or whatever organization you work for. These goals that you're setting are going to look very, very different. And they are going to empower you to make the progress and momentum and generate the feelings that you are actually looking for in your life. Before we go into that, I just want to share, because I don't know if you've heard that I'm a little bit excited, but the Conscious Investor Growth Summit tickets, they are live. They are ready for sale for you. Tickets have been selling and there are only 150 tickets available. That's it. If you remember, the reason there are only 150 tickets is because we're trying to close the gap between the stage and the ticket holders, the attendees, you. We want to make sure that we have an opportunity for everyone to really generate and build meaningful relationships. I have friends that are flying in from all across the country for you. So if you're ready to meet amazing people, if you're ready to meet a fellow conscious investors who are really intentional about their health, their mindset, and their wealth, this is definitely the place for you. And you do not want to miss it. Beautiful Lake Coeur d'Alene in March 7th through 10th. That 7th, we really put that there because more than likely, you'll need to spend that day traveling, and we want to welcome you and we want to provide a warm reception so that, we can all just get connected that evening. And then we're going to go hard all day, Friday and Saturday, and a half day on Sunday. Boat excursions, brunches, all sorts of really beautiful opportunities to break bread, connect, and get to know extraordinary people. And by the way, you're one of those extraordinary people. You don't want to miss this opportunity and this event. Tickets right now are early bird priced at half off. And so make sure you go down to the show notes, you click the link, and you get your tickets while they are still available. Okay. Here's the deal, Conscious Investor. I had an aversion to goals for years. They really made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to have to engage goals because I really didn't want to feel disappointed. I didn't want to let myself down. And so I just didn't really set goals. And the goals that I did set, they really didn't have actions behind them that would allow me to gain the momentum necessary to achieve them. I self-sabotaged a lot for years. I just self-sabotaged because I wasn't being meticulous about my goals. Over the last 4 years, I have been very mindful and aware of my goals. Financial Sherpa, one of the most influential humans in my life, led me in that and gave me an insight into a powerful goal-setting practice and the intentionality behind how he was engaging his marriage and his relationships with his kids and friendships. Those are the priorities, as well as health. I mean, he's a true conscious investor. And so that really opened my eyes to an entirely different way of going about goals. And this year, I'm adding something in addition. I'm actually shrinking down the amount of goals that I'm setting. And I am adding in one more element. Is going to be so powerful. Now, the next 5 episodes of The Conscious Investor are completely dedicated towards goals. Don't cringe. I promise you, you need this. I can assure you of that. It is either going to affirm you or guide you or challenge you. But all of these episodes are going to allow you to enter into 2024 with such joy and enthusiasm, and actually the strength of a warrior to really charge into your year with the energy that is sustainable. Let's just talk about high level the next few episodes. Today, we're going to talk about, why you even need goals. And then next week, I'm going to talk about, we're going to review together. I will guide you through how to review. Did your goals really deliver? Now, there's a twist to that. So you're like, I have my KPIs and stuff. No, there's another way to look at your goals to know if they really, truly delivered. We'll talk about that coming up. And then we're going to talk about our vision. We're going to spend a whole episode on vision and building our vision. Then we're going to spend another episode on setting the intentions for 2024. And I can't think of a better way to wrap up a series than to celebrate. And so we're going to dive into celebrating the successes that we've had, celebrating the presence that we have, and celebrating the opportunities that are already planned and coming for us. Conscious Investor, this is going to be a powerful way for you to really feel more deeply connected and aligned. Let's go ahead and dive in to why we even need goals, because I hear you, Conscious Investor. Remember, I said earlier, I really wasn't a fan of goals. I wasn't a fan of setting goals. I self-sabotaged. And really, ultimately, because of that led to burnout. Yeah, not having goals is what led to burnout. It led to procrastination. It led to me feeling like I had missed expectations. If you have goal aversion, like past me, and you are having those feelings, maybe you could join me in looking at goals in a brand new way. One of the most important elements of goals is that it provides so much clarity. Now, this is provided that we have a clarity on our vision, okay, and what we are aiming to generate. And we are, like you heard me say just a moment ago, we're going to have a whole episode on finding that vision, okay, finding what direction am I even going. But the first element of goals that we really want to zero in on is clarity. Clarity is going to lead us into necessity, and necessity will lead us into energy. Okay, let's break these down. Clarity means that I have not just a peripheral, like a little side eye view as to what's taking place, but I have a front row, like front and center. I know exactly what it is that I am after. Imagine if we were on a hike and we didn't have a map. I've used this example before, and we're like, oh yeah, hey, let's go summit that peak over there. And we just start out without a map at all. The likelihood of us successfully summiting without any intel, without any information, is very, very low. And so when we allow ourselves to have that clarity in our life, just like if we're going out for a hike, it's like, okay, well, we have our app open or we have our guidebook. We know where the trailhead is. We know what the reviews say. Current reviews, even maybe there's some fresh snowfall that we need to be aware of, or maybe it's a spring hike and one of the bridges got washed out by water, right? And so we can be current and up to date. We can be extremely clear. We're going to that peak, and here are the challenges that we may face, or here's the trail that we exactly need to stay on. And people said that it gets hard to follow at this certain point, so we're going to be especially wide-eyed. When we are clear about what it is that we are generating and what it is we are after, we can create a plan. I know it's like, no, I want to be all organic. I just want it to happen and just free flow. Hey, guess what? How's that winging it working out for you? Okay, if you are winging it, you are playing small, and playing small is not doing the world a favor. We need you to be showing up in your full thunder. One of my aversions to planning, and believe it or not, I have a love-hate relationship with planning. I think a lot of you are like, no, Julie's like fully type A. I'm mostly type A. So all this to say is that I did have an aversion to planning because that's accountability. It's going to show me if I'm messing up. And I just want to let it go. And I just don't want the rigidity of it all. But embracing that rigidity allows for success to take place. That is the birthplace of momentum. And so if you are that person that's still like, oh no, it's going to happen. It's all organic. I just trust the process and go with the flow. Then imagine if you had a map in front of you that showed you. Imagine if you had intel that was helping direct you so that your path was very, very clear. You would do so much more. Your business would flourish. Your relationships would flourish. Everything around you would flourish because you were crystal clear. So if you're feeling, I don't want to set goals because now I'm going to have this accountability, I want you to think about the cost of not having those goals, not having those things in place. If you don't have those in place, you are playing small. And again, playing small is not doing the world a favor. So let's step up, right? Okay. The other element, the other reason, right, that I was talking about with the importance of goals is that it creates necessity. When we need to do something, we get it done. And it doesn't even take us much time, generally speaking. And for some reason, we can pull an all-nighter and we create a great and fabulous product. So when we raise a level of necessity without having that pressure of it has to get done, right? So let's just raise the level of necessity I'm trying to think of the word, artificial way. There we go. So when we raise necessity in an artificial way, instead of having that hard stop deadline that we have to hit, then we come in and we show up in a different way. Yeah, we feel that urgency. We have to get it done. Here's a target. Here's a timeline. But now we also feel that peace that comes with, if it doesn't get done, I have breathing space and the world isn't going to fall and it's going to be okay. This is where our momentum comes in. Clarity allows us to plan and to really get clear about the actions that we're going to take. Raising our level of necessity through proper goal planning allows that motivation that momentum that we are looking for. And that motivation, I mean, it is motivation as well, right? Because it's like, oh man, I have to get this done. Now we move into energy. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm just so tired. I need to take a rest. I need to take a nap. And they don't have the energy to show up to the tasks so that they can be the architect and live the life that they want to live. Right? We're building that life every single day. And for some reason, there are a whole bunch of people that are just hitting snooze left and right all day long. Not just this is, not literally speaking, but, proverbially speaking, I suppose. Right? And so stop hitting the snooze button. Your energy level is going to go through the roof when you have the clarity, when you have the necessity, because now you have to have the energy there. Imagine in college when you were pulling those all-nighters or when you wrote so many term papers. I know I did that. I had 24 units one semester and they were not light units. I mean, we're talking like legit science, math, like they were heavy units, 24 units one semester. And then I became obsessed with that and did that multiple times and graduated early. But my point is that it created this urgency. I knew what I was after. I had a super high necessity level in every single project. And so I brought energy into every single one of those projects. When you face procrastination, that's because you're not clear about where you're going. You really don't feel like you have to do it. So your energy level doesn't have to be there in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So goals are going to come in. They're going to bolster you in these three areas. And that is just going to lead to this whole other part of life, which is called feelings. And how do we feel? You're going to feel amazing and grounded and aligned. The reward of going through this type of process of setting goals and actually sticking with your goals is going to change and catapult your life in ways you have no idea. Stay with me for the next 4 episodes, Conscious Investor, and I promise you that you are going to gain and grow. I know you want to be the architect of your life. I know you don't want somebody else telling you how to live your life and when to live your life. So that means it's time for you to step into the driver's seat of your life. You get to build it, you get to design it, you get to build it, and you get to enjoy it most of all. That's what I have for you today. Next episode, we're going to go through reviewing the goals that we have. Now, I have a special opportunity for you, Conscious Investor. If you want to do a deeper reflection with the Conscious Investor, I have some growth exercises that you could already start doing right now. There's a link in the show notes and it will say, go deeper into the reflection with Conscious Investor growth exercises. Now click that link and it will allow you to access some very powerful reflection exercises that will start you on this process a little bit early. Okay. And that is a fantastic opportunity. And if you are looking to really catapult 2024, I am opening up. Initially, this is only open to women, which didn't totally feel aligned because you guys know, my world is very much a guy's world. It always has been. Older brothers, male-dominated sports, the only girl that's snowboarding when it first came out and forefront of rock climbing and things like that. So I'm used to that. So I actually am opening up the Conscious Investor Growth Accelerator to everybody in my world. That made my heart so happy. I was like, yes, this feels right. This feels center. But I'm only opening this up for 12 people. Okay. There is a price tag to it. And I'm not gonna candy coat that at all because I want people to show up fully and authentically. And I'm actually going to be cutting things out of my schedule so that I can be super present for this specific growth accelerator group. So if that's something that you were looking for and you want to be aligned and in proximity to other powerhouse conscious investors who are focused on their, building and being the architect of their lives, then I want you to go down into the show notes, click the link, and you're going to apply. Yeah, it's not open to just anybody. So there are some hurdles to get in. Want to protect the culture and curate this group very carefully. All right, Conscious Investor, I appreciate your time to listen in. Please share this with somebody. The Conscious Investor should not be hidden from the world and it cannot grow without your support. So I thank you in advance for helping spread this by sharing it on your social platforms and with friends that you care about. Until next time, stay focused on that health, mindset, and wealth.